Israel, on the other hand, has been living in something of a fantasy world for the past 75 years, maybe a little bit less than that, where the United States has given them overwhelming, unlimited support, both militarily and rhetorically, so they can do whatever they want. They have been given a carte blanche beyond what many other countries have ever been given. And I think I still think about this anecdote. It's so hard to believe. Back in 82, when Israel invaded Lebanon, Ronald Reagan, he saw what was happening on television, and he called the Israeli prime minister, and he told him that what he was witnessing was like a Holocaust. And he told the Israeli
and
leaders,
he would know, as he liberated a concentration camp in a movie.
Is that? Oh my God, jeez. And he gets on the phone. He tells the Israeli leaders this, and they initially reject, but then they acquiesce. They acquiesce to Reagan because all the president of the United States has to do is tell them no. That is all they have to do. This is not difficult. It is extraordinarily easy, and is known because past American presidents have done this before. Presidents who are far more conservative than Joe Biden is. And yet, the pressure that has been mounted on Israel by the Biden administration can be described as nothing else but, it's air. It's vaporous. It doesn't exist. It exists insofar as the American representatives of the UN will say, there should not be a forcible displacement of Palestinians from the Gaza Strip, as other ministers have suggested.
And should. Should.
The operative word.
And then also forcible, because I guarantee you, there are these statements now that we're seeing from Ben-Gvir and Smotrich that is necessitating a response from State Department spokesdweeb Matt Miller. And they're saying, and Ryan Grimm got them to say, go beyond should and say, must not, right? But I think the other key word here is forcible, because we all know that this is the policy, despite what the United States says they can and can't abide. I mean, there's nothing we won't abide. I think that should be clear at this point. I think it is going to be meted out under the rubric of that this will be a voluntary immigration. That just people are choosing to leave because if they stay, they'll be killed.
Well, they of course they won't say that.
Yeah, they won't say the second part of that. They'll just say
no.
They'll just say food and medicine. Food and medicine is on this side of a line, and that's what they went. Yeah.
Yeah, I see the pundit panel conversations before me. I see the newspaper columns before me, and I visualize it as the prophets did in the Bible.
Yes,
I see. It is so clear to me that I talk about it as if it has already happened.
It is written.
It is written. You see it as, okay, look at Gaza. This humanitarian catastrophe, this famine, all the disease, all the destruction. They have no homes to go back to. Hamas has ruined their lives. It has brought an unconscionable war upon them. We should do the humanitarian thing. We should reach within our hearts, our moral center, and we should grant the Gazans passage outside of their prison.
Right.
We'll send them to Congo. We'll send them to some other country in Africa. Congo was literally the country that they're talking about sending these people to. And
I'm surprised it wasn't Madagascar.
Yeah, this is literally we have these conversations as if they're novel, as if they've never been thought of before, that we're thinking up of new political innovations to solve these crises. But voluntary immigration was literally the language that was used to justify plans by the Nazi government to send Jews elsewhere. There were thousands of Zionists who were told by the Nazis, hey, I got a great deal for you. You can go to Palestine right now. All you have to do is leave your homes forever. And they took it because the threat on the other side of that was death. This is not a voluntary choice. This is ethnic cleansing. It's a genocide. We've seen this time and time again. But there's a nearsightedness that colors all of this. Alan Dershowitz just today.
Boys are back in town.
Oh my God.
Reappearing onto the public consciousness at exactly the right time. And to the government of Israel out there, if you're listening, I just got to say to you, please, more Dershowitz.
Please.
Like
Pick
the
this man.
survival of the Zionist project depends on the world's greatest lawyer.
He got O.J. Simpson off. He will get the state of Israel off. I promise you this. But he put out this op-ed, I think literally the day after he went on TV, and I think said that I want to see all the people pushing the Epstein list. I want to see if they condemn the Hamas rapes.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy is fucking zooming off into a different dimension with this shit. But he in this op-ed, he was like, you don't see the typical signs of genocide, of the Holocaust specifically.
Oh, right. Which are the gas chambers and ovens.
Yeah. This is how we as Americans have been conditioned to view genocide. This is what we think it is. If we see a mechanized death camp, if we see video of, we would have to, we would hear about people in gas chambers and they're tearing at the walls and they have stars on their chests. This is what we would be able to see as clear signs of genocide. But as long as we don't explicitly see such obvious signs, even between you and me, I think if these obvious signs, these incredibly obvious signs were to manifest, I think we'd still be having these arguments.
Of course we would, because I can't come up with a better living example of a mechanized death camp than what the Gaza Strip is right now. I mean, if that isn't industrialized wholesale mass murder of a totally defenseless civilian population, I don't know what is.
There's no railroads.
If I could look at any of the images that I see coming out of Gaza of summary executions, of just the scale of devastation and starvation, and then the highly technological apparatus carrying it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what other comparison do you want me to make here?
We've been conditioned to view an extremely narrow band. And when something expands outside of that narrow band and requires you to apply lessons and not to simply see direct parallels that are completely 1-1, then people start losing their fucking minds. They can't fathom it. They can't comprehend that this could happen again. And that moreover, this is happening again with America's explicit aid and abetting. The country that constantly says never again, that we will always stop genocide, that we move. You saw what we did in Serbia. We saw what we did in Kosovo, in Bosnia. We protect people, don't we? And then, I mean, of course, it was always bullshit. Let's not kid ourselves. But it's so egregious what is happening.